You know who I also miss is Tommy the Space Alien.
Ooh.
So Tommy had this guy on, Boz is his name, and this guy runs an organization dedicated to finding missing children. So Tommy brings him on and introduces him, and I thought this was a funny segue into the story about those Idaho college students who were killed. You know about that, Doug?
Right, yeah.
All right. Listen to how he segues into this and how confusing this is because he has no idea what he's talking about.
So before we get into all like the nasty stuff, you know that shooting in Idaho where you can go to tab 2 where the college kids, you know, 4 of them, 2 of them were stabbed, or what exactly happened with that?
Yeah, all 4 were stabbed, I believe, right?
Yeah.
All right, before we get into the nasty stuff, let's talk about those 4 kids who got slayed in Idaho. And he goes, you know that shooting in Idaho? The guy's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, no, the shooting where 2 of the people got stabbed, all 4 got stabbed. Yeah, that shooting. That's the one I was talking about. Don't play dumb. And he didn't have any idea, anything about it, that there were like 2 survivors. Like if there was a shooting, the 2 survivors story would have been very weird.
Yeah.
How they didn't know that the other 4 were killed. It's like, Tommy, do you have no understanding?
I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
Is that a neon alien head that he has
Yes.
in the back?
Always fascinated with aliens. He's hiding in plain sight.
This guy
Is my
is
theory.
so scary. Like every time I listen to your show, I have to bring up an image of him just to remind myself how odd and terrifying he looks.
Well, whoever built his face didn't do a great job. I don't know what references they had to figure out what humans look
He
like.
he is gonna take it off one day, like a little man, like a Men in Black thing. He's gonna be in there steering this whole time.
You
right?
might be right about that. All right, so now this guy is talking about how video games train people how to be killers. And because his whole thing is like child abduction, and he goes, you know, it's really easy to play Call of Duty and then learn how to go and shoot people up. And Tommy, which is
Or
retarded,
stab them.
which is so stupid. And then Tommy says this, because any type of knowledge that Tommy has, he's just going to spurt it out, which I love.
To do that, to be honest with you, I mean, it doesn't take a paid professional to play video games that, you know, like Call of Duty or whatever, and then go get a weapon and then go out and shoot anybody.
That is true because they've made them so realistic now that, I mean, you can do flight simulators.
Yeah.
Like on Metaverse, you can learn how to fly a plane, kind of, through the Metaverse.
Flight simulators have been around longer than Tommy. Before he crash landed on this planet, there were flight simulators. He goes, I don't know if you know about this. You can learn how to fly a plane with these video games. Like, yes. Long before the metaverse, that was a thing. Also, at the end of there, he goes, you can fly through the metaverse. Does he mean fly through the metaverse? Because I'd want to do that.
Yeah, I think he
Fly a
does mean
plane, kind of, through the Metaverse.
And fly a plane kind of through the metaverse.
Kind of. I want his guests to be like, let's stay on topic here, Tommy. We're talking about murders.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you know what else you can learn from video games? How to eat power pellets. Well, yeah, I suppose. That's a good point, too. All right, so they're explaining that the father of one of the girls who was killed. Now, this is a week old. So this came out right before they actually had a suspect. So now they have this suspect. I covered it on the latest The Creep Off, if you want to hear my hot takes on Brian Koberger. So they have a suspect. But before that, the father of one of the daughters, of one of the women who were killed in this Idaho slaying, decided to get a private investigator because it didn't seem like the police had any leads or knew what was going on. For whatever reason, this leads Tommy to have some wild speculation on who the killer might be.
I kind of think that's what they're doing because they said that they had got 500 pieces of evidence, like forensic evidence, and then everybody was breathing down their neck that they're taking forever, blah, 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 blah. And when you agree that the worst thing to do is to pressure those investigators because now they're rushed, maybe they missed something. And then if I'm the dad, I'm just waiting for them to start looking at me because now that it's been taking so long, I'm just waiting for them to come and question me and start accusing me of killing. Because at first I thought, I don't know, maybe the dad has something to do with it.
So now Tommy thinks that father of one of the girls is who killed everyone? This is the guy who's trying to get to the facts and the truth and find the killer. He's
If
like,
she was my daughter, I would murder her and her friends.
right. He's like, oh, this guy wants to get to the bottom of this? Sounds pretty suspicious. No, it doesn't. No one thinks the dad did it. What?
It also looks like Tommy's doing this show from a drained pool.
So he asks this guy, Rob, who's ex-CIA, which I don't think he ever leave the CIA, but so he's ex-intelligence, and he gives a very reasonable response to what might be going on. And then they kick it to Rob, the producer. And Rob talks way out of his ass. It's pretty funny.
Hopefully and prayerfully they come up and find out who did it. You know.
What do you think, Rob? What's your opinion on that case?
I haven't really followed much along with it, honestly. I've seen the some of the news reports about it. I just think that I think what kind of best. I think they know who it is, but they're trying to get enough evidence put on them, but they don't want to go out and say it, right? So let him think he's gotten away. They're building up their evidence, and they'll just go make the arrests.
He started it by saying, I've been following this at all. And then goes on with this wild speculation. They actually know who did it. They're not going to show their hand right now. They want to build up a case. And he's right. He was right. He just made it up. Turns out he was fucking right about all that. Holy shit. So then they get into this 7-year-old girl who was abducted by the FedEx driver. This was another big news story. I don't know if you saw this, Doug.
No, I didn't.
So early December, this is just...
like this guy, I'll try and guess as to who it is.
Yeah. So in early December, a FedEx driver abducted a 7-year-old and murdered this girl. And Tommy's trying to figure out why that case was solved so quickly. And this case wasn't. He's got a theory.
Now with this one, do you think this went so quick because FedEx was involved and they had money to push it forward, to get it out of the headlines for FedEx?
I don't know what the evidence was. I don't know if they collected off cameras. There might have been a neighborhood camera that actually saw the FedEx driver pick the little girl up.
All right. That makes zero sense. What Tommy just said. Is FedEx putting money behind this investigation? No! That's not how that works at all. Like, you better solve this, guys. If you do... I got a few bucks for you over here.
Federal money.
Do you think that one was solved quickly because FedEx was involved? No. So this guy was being polite and he goes, no, I think, maybe it was caught on camera. Correct. What happened was the boss of the driver was able to look at the camera in the van and see the girl and called it into the authorities. That's why it was caught so quickly. It was on video, Tommy. This guy doesn't fucking read anything beyond the headline.
A McDonald's employee came out from behind the counter and shot 3 people and then ran away.
Yeah.
Do you think he was caught because McDonald's was
McDonald's just wanted to make sure
in finding him?
They wanted to get it out of the headlines as quickly as possible. Let's get to the bottom of this. What a fucking idiot. All right, so now this is Tommy talking about how he's concerned that there's so many moms and dads out there who don't realize their kids could be abducted at any time. And they need to be vigilant. They need to be worried about it.
Since you guys started ARC, how do you get people to believe? If you go and you say to a mother, hey, you really have to watch your 2-year-old or 3-year-old outside, out front. Oh, she's just out front. Nothing's going to happen. If we put 1,000 mothers in here, 900 out of 1,000, if they're being honest, they're going to say, yeah, I let my daughter out front. I watch her, but, I'll go in and get a drink and come right back out,
So let me get this straight. There's 1,000 mothers in there, and you ask every single one of them if you could leave your 3-year-old alone for 3 seconds. 900 of them would say that's fine. So what, like 90%? Like, what about like maybe 90 out of 100, maybe 9 out of 10? Might be one example you could use. Out of 1,000.
I don't know, how big is this place? Can we fit 1,000 people?
How many out of
here?
10,000, Tommy? That's what I want to know. How many moms would say that out of that many?
Tommy's insane. And I will speak to this as a parent, because the one thing I will say is parents are overly concerned that strangers are going to grab their children off the street.
That's been my experience.
When that is like 0.000% of the time when somebody's taken, it's a family member or somebody that the kid knows, of course. Tommy's an idiot.
Oh, not only is he an idiot, but his guest on here goes into hardcore victim blaming, which is insane.
And then, sadly,
And I've been known to do some victim blaming before. Okay, listen, I'm no stranger to victim
Why don't you
blaming.
do a whole show about it?
I know, but this is insane right here.
and then, sadly, and it's the case with most of the kids that get abducted, their parents don't care enough, or sometimes their parents are just stupid. You know, they're so wrapped up in their own life that they don't pay attention to their kids.
Holy shit! He's like, if your kids get abducted, it's because that's your fault. You fucking asshole.
Dummy.
It's because you're too stupid.
I tell my kids, do you know how much shit is in that FedEx truck? If that guy wants you to go in there, he's probably going to give you something that's worth something.
He might even have candy. You never know. Now, the fear-mongering that goes on in this next clip, I've never seen anything like this before. Remember, this guy's organization helps to find abducted children, but it sounds like he's rooting for children to get abducted because
He's out of a job. if
He
not.
needs work.
So much, we are surrounded by so much evil that we can't even count the ways anymore. So children are a commodity, whether it's child sex trafficking, child pornography, satanic cults using kids for sacrifice, or kids for body parts, or whatever it may be, or the cartel using them to traffic drugs or whatever. It's beyond anything that we have seen at least in my time on this earth.
what the fuck? Satanic cult rituals?
Satanic cults using body parts.
What the
What?
fuck? Holy shit, I guess I'm not as concerned for children's safety as I should be. I didn't realize.
I
had
feel
no
like this
idea.
guy should lose his job. I hope his employer's watching this going, what the fuck are you on there talking about, dude?
Even Alex Jones would be like, all right, but it's not that bad. Let's, the hyperbole's getting a little out of control right now. Holy shit. All right. So then Tommy's whole thing, and this is ridiculous because Tommy's got this whole idea that it's all about the news that's manipulating people in every single which way. And the news is really at fault for all of these child abductions that are happening.
The only thing about nowadays, I don't know if it's always parents that don't care. This episode is brought to you by Fiji.
Sorry, I should mention it gets interrupted by a commercial in the worst, most awkward place. So I went ahead and clipped out the little commercial thing. So we'll get right back to it. But I just wanted to show you how awkward this show is. It's the best.
The only thing about nowadays, I don't know if it's always parents that don't care. This episode is brought to you by Fiji.
By FedEx.
The link is in the description at the top. Because this generation is feeded down by the news, brainwashed by the news, brainwashed by the internet. The internet shows, we both know. It shows you what
They say we're feeded down by the news.
Yeah, feed it.
Can you play that again?
Yeah. This generation is feeded down by the news.
this generation is feeded down by the news, brainwashed by the news, brainwashed by the internet. The internet shows, we both know. It shows you what they want it to show you. You know what I mean? There's no viral. Viral is what they want you to see.
Right.
So I think a lot of younger people in this generation, they're just not in touch with reality. They're in touch with the reality that's shoved down their throat. So in their reality, they do care. And they're doing a great thing, and they're planting flowers. They're dying of thirst. Their daughter or son is playing with the flower. They're just running in for 3 seconds and getting a bottle of water, and they're coming back, but the kid's gone.
Right.
Okay? But I don't think that means that they don't care. I think that it's just that this generation's reality is not what reality is, because when is any of this on the news?
What is he talking about?
So he just said they're just not covering this stuff on the news. That's why the parents don't realize how big of a deal this is. After they had just shown the article of the 7-year-old being abducted that was in the news. It was a big news story. He's going, how come they're not showing this in the news? Which is stupid.
Also, the idea, I don't know what one has to do with the other. The internet's the problem because people are just outside planting flowers.
Yeah.
What does one thing have to do with the other?
Well, because what he was trying to say was...
They're doing great things like planting flowers and dying of thirst.
He was trying to say that he has this example in his head that's ridiculous, that you're out front in the front lawn with your 3-year-old
Yeah.
and they're playing in the dirt, and then you just like go back inside and just leave the 3-year-old out there, which I don't think is a realistic thing that happens.
I don't think it's that realistic. And also, what does that have to do with the internet? Because if anything, the internet and media, they love to cover this shit. They love it. It's what all those stupid true crime podcasts are there for. Like, people love this stuff. People are terrified all the time.
No kidding. That's all there is people thinking that everything bad is going to happen to them all the time. And so this is because he's already made this point, so now he has to double down on this retarded theory after his guest goes, well, it does get covered on the news. We did just read this article together.
Yeah. The only ones that you do see is the ones that the guy went online and he went to meet the mother and daughter, and the daughter looked like she was 18, but she was 14, and he got 10 years in prison because he met a hooker and the daughter was 14. But she had black eye makeup on and looked 18.
Right.
But you never hear about any of this stuff.
What? What is he talking about? The only ones you hear about the news when you fuck a 14-year-old because you think she's 18, you meet her mom and she confirms, like, what?
And I said I was sorry.
There was an oddly specific but also meandering and nonsensical story.
But he also even said at the end, he goes, but you never hear about these types of things. And he points up to the screen and they have the news story up.
This detailed thing here.
They never talk about this. Just this ridiculous nonsense I'm
I met her
spouting.
mom, and then she was wearing black eye makeup. How was I to know what was going on?
Holy shit.
And then I met a hooker.
That is a little bit
What
too
is-
specific. The other thing that I'm picking up on that Tommy does, because he's created this backstory for himself, this idea that he was a human and he grew up on this planet.
Yeah.
So
He's doing a really bad job.
Well, he tells
of
the
pretending
story.
to be human.
He tells a story about what it was like for him growing up. And I have a question. Listen close. I have a question.
And who were their parents? Because I know when the street lights came on, if my ass wasn't in the house, my grandpa got called. And that's not a motherfucker you want coming when you're 9.
Yeah,
'Cause he doesn't care if you're 9.
What does that mean? He goes, if I wasn't home, the streetlights came on, my grandfather got called. Was he at his grandfather's house?
Yeah, who's calling him?
What does that mean?
Was your grandfather alive?
What's going on right now? All right.
He doesn't care if you're 9.
He doesn't care if you're
9 or
9.
11. Who gives a shit?
Okay. This clip might be my favorite clip so far because the guest Boz is going to talk about BLM, Black Lives Matter. And Tommy's confused with a different organization, not even an organization, a different group of people. I'll let you listen to it and I'll explain if you don't pick up on it what's going on here.
Everybody's a victim.
Yep.
Like the whole BLM movement, was
Are
all-
they only at 3 letters?
Yeah.
Or aren't they at 17?
Bureau of
letters?
Land Management, of course, yes.
They had a new letter every week.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you know what's happening here?
Jesus Christ. Of course I know what's happening. Tommy doesn't.
Tommy thinks he's talking about LGBTQ.
Yeah, of course
Because he goes,
does.
oh, BLM, just the 3 letters right now? They're not adding more letters to it? Like, no, it's always just been Black Lives Matter. They're not adding more letters to it, dummy. What are you talking about? What an idiot. His poor guest.
Bisexual, lesbian, mutants. I don't know.
I'll give it up to his guest for not just completely derailing and being like, what the fuck did you just say?
What do you mean? What do you think BLM stands for?
Do you
idiot?
hear yourself, sir?
Wow. So then Boz is also a moron because he fucks up a pretty well-known saying.
Just get the job done. And by the way, all the excuses, they all the same. They stink. Don't.
Excuses are like assholes. Everyone has one and they stink. Not
all
not
the excuses, they stink.
Excuses, they stink. Okay. I
He's
guess.
proud of himself, though. He's laughing at it as though he did say something
Well,
funny.
he was thinking about how this is a joke somehow. I'm not sure how. Oh, I said it wrong. That's why. Okay. And then for some reason, my last clip on here, they get into subjects that are no longer taught in high school.
Oh.
And Tommy remembers the subject that he was good at in high school. And again, I love Tommy's backstory that he creates for himself. It can't be real. It can't be.
You mean the history that they took out of school?
Yeah, that
and
one,
wood shop that they took out?
That's exactly.
And
Home economics.
Home economics. That was
That's
the
it,
other one
yeah.
that they took out.
Yeah, exactly. I always wanted to do a home ec class,
I did. I had a really nice home ec teacher.
Did
she
you?
liked me. I went to class.
Well,
That was one I actually went to.
Well, you're a handsome fellow. She probably did like you.
I thought, my idea was I could cook for a girl one day.
That's a good idea.
However, 40 years later, I can only cook pasta. So I didn't do it, but I showed up, though.
There you go.
And
That's
she was
what-
very nice to me.
Yeah, there you go. That's what counts. So.
Holy shit. My kids are in home ec. My kids are in woodshop. Those are still classes,
They're still
first
happening.
of all. And second of all, what this guy's 60-some years old. He's talking about how those weren't classes when he was in school.
Well, no. He's saying that they used to be classes.
No, he's saying I always wanted to take a home ec class
Well,
though
because-
it wasn't offered.
Well, no. He went to school when men were men, and men did
all
not
right,
take home ec. They
Oh,
took
I get
wood
it, I
shop,
get it.
and the women
Okay,
took home
okay.
ec. And so Tommy says, "Well, I took home ec because I wanted to cook food for girls." Is that what guys do? Is that what human people do of the male
not gay
variety?
to cook if you're cooking for a girl, right?
He also thinks pasta is not food.
I can't cook food though, just pasta. I like that he can boil pasta. Is the only thing he's able to do. He should have been failed from that class, sir.
God.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Tommy's amazing. This is an amazing show. Like, how do you get on this guy's show? Carl, you got to try and get on this guy. I don't know how it happens, where he finds these people. Is he paying them? I know he paid Stuttering John.
I think he does pay them. And Doug, one at a time. I got Harrison Young in an hour.
I know.
Which means we got to fly because I'm running behind schedule right now.
That's fine. That's
But
okay.
I'm not done with Tommy from MSCS Media just yet because
oh boy. Oh,
we have an episode of To Catch an Alien with Cardiff Electric. What's up, Cardiff?
Good. How are you? I'm surprised you didn't bring up my Benny Loco incident.
Why is your mouth missing?
where's your mouth, buddy?
Oh, it might be my green lipstick is chroming out.
Fucking weird.
Wow, that was weird.
I didn't like that.
That better?
All right, what did I miss on the Stuttering John stuff?
Oh no, Benny Loco was on my show.
Oh, she was. I watched your show. You said you're going to have Andrea Brower on. She never appeared. That was
Yes,
disappointing.
because of the chats you were watching, she decided to cancel her appearance. But Benny Loco decided to call in and yell at me. That was fun.
Sweet. So is that on YouTube right now?
Yes.
I will check that out.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to keep up with the Dabbleverse. Cut me some slack here.
It's growing. Yes.
Yeah, I know. All right. So,
Who's the eye candy?
Doug?
Potato?
Yeah. I
I
thought it
can't
was
stop looking at this potato. This is amazing.
It's great.
I'm sorry,
Bizarro Blind Mike.
Carl. I only consume your show audio only, and this is incredible. Like, I know you talk to a potato. You reference it all the time. I've never seen it before.
He's also in my basement right now. Let him play it out. So, what were you saying, Cardiff? You thought that was Blind Mike without the sunglasses on?
Bizarro Blind Mike. yeah.
Bizarro Blind Mike. All right.
you.
Let's play To Catch an Alien. Have you played this game yet with us, Doug?
No.
Of course not.
No.
It's brand new.
This is my first Cardiff game. This is how long it's been since
Oh
I've
my
been on this
gosh.
show.
Well, you work a real job. It's annoying.
I know.
All right, let's do it.
It's time for everyone's favorite game show, To Catch an Alien. Are you ready to play To Catch an Alien?
That's right.
That is all we are. We have forgotten more than we ever known. Our single largest earth mover in the world can move only 70 tons. That's it. 70 tons. And those are those big fucking tractors that have the tires the size of an apartment building. It can move 70 tons at one time. However, you go to Baalbek in Libya and you have cut stones that are 10 stories high, 2 football fields long. They're cut and they're fucking stacked.
And they're perfect. They're perfectly aligned.
Flawless.
Flawless. So after my
So
opinion,
we have lost more than we've ever known.
you know what I think happened, and I want your opinion if you don't mind. I think we went this bullshit technology route. All this hardware, software. I think civilizations in the past, they went with vibration, sound, telepathic. Because I say this ad nausea, but right now in our life, our reality, our time,
What did Tommy say next?
I'm intrigued.
Here are your choices.
All right.
Number 1, did you ever play one of those vibrating football games as a kid? I tore mine apart. It's just vibration, moving everything. B, if you take an electric razor, put a battery in it, it vibrates, it moves. Next, if you go to a club with a really good DJ, they can move people just with music, a beat. Think about it. 4, we can't see sound, but it's there. So what else is there that we can't see? Lastly, we are so far behind what the ancient civilizations knew because we just forgot one day. I don't know what caused it, but it's true. To catch an alien.
God damn, I was like, it's got to be 3. Oh, it's got to be 4. Oh, it's got to be 5.
I'm
gonna
crying.
go.
I'm laughing so hard.
I know. I think I'm going to go with 4. You can't see sound, but it's there. But I really like 3. The DJ could get people to move.
Yeah.
With a beat.
Think about it.
What do you think, Doug? I'm going 4. What do you say, Doug?
I want it to be the electric vibrating football game,
Okay.
but I'm going to go with 5.
Okay.
5 sounds
I'm trying to
reasonable.
think of what Tommy may say ad nausea, as he said.
Yeah. I went with 4.
You're going 4?
Yeah.
So we have 4, 4, 5?
Yep.
Can I say something?
Of course.
You know the damage doing these games is doing to my mental health? Getting into these retards' minds.
Trying to come up with like possible things that they would say that we're all like debating. Like, I don't know. They're all ridiculous, but it's one of them.
It's ruining my life, Carl.
We appreciate the sacrifice.
But you look good.
Yeah, we don't say it enough.
I think we went this bullshit technology route. All this hardware, software. I think civilizations in the past, they went with vibration, sound, telepathic, because I say this ad nausea, but right now in our life, our reality, our time, if you take an electric razor, you put a battery in it, it vibrates, it moves, right? If I put it on the table and I hit it on to shave and it's vibrating, it moves.
Jesus.
Why is it out of this world to believe that if that can happen, if it can move, if you have 100,000 years to develop things, why is it impossible that you couldn't move a 70-ton rock by vibration? If you have 100,000 years, what do you think? A dog just barks for no reason? I think that's a mindless person. I think they were never desensitized. So, and they still use instinct. So why is it insane to believe that they can telepathically move shit? Why is it insane to believe if they have 100, maybe 500,000 years, that they didn't see something coming and got the hell out of here?
Does he think the people back then are 100,000 years old? It was 100,000 years ago. Because they had 100,000 years to do it. Of course they're going to get it done. With all that time? Holy shit, Cardiff. You can't make this up. Wow. The vibrating football.
If I put an electric razor next to a 75-ton rock, if you come back in 1,000 years, it's probably standing upright.
Wow.
He's still talking.
I don't see why that's so crazy to believe, other than they don't want to rewrite history.
Look.
That's all for this week. Come back next week to find out if you have the vibration power to catch an alien.
Well played.
Brought to you by patreon.com/CardiffElectric and the Cardiff Electric YouTube. Subscribe today. Also, WATPlive.com. Get your tickets now for DabbleCon. But definitely come visit us at StuckJohnCon in the parking lot across the street. To catch an alien.